You're watching the Cavalry. Yeah, this is a real tripped out piece of information right here. And check this out. This is something that TYT, the Young Turks, are not telling you. This is something that The View is not telling you about Paula Deen and her racism. Now, all the major news outlets are really just trying to protect the woman. But I am glad to hear that the Food Network has canceled her contract. Now, she's trying to apologize, but it turns out there's too much racism going on, and it's too damn embarrassing for anyone to continue to promote this woman. She's a racist. So, real quick to my main constituency, sometimes the Cavalry has to be in the real world doing real world stuff to make a change to the whole entire planet. But we'll talk about that another time. Now check this out. A shout out goes to Jezebel's Erin Gloria Ryan, who actually put out the real story about Paula Deen. Also, I'm going to give Anthony Bourdain a shout out too, because he forewarned everybody in the United States about how racist Paula Deen is. He was trying to do this so it would save the foodie industry. I mean, this is a very lucrative industry. You can't have idiots like Paula Deen and her brother involved in it, because it makes the whole industry look bad. You start to question everybody's intentions. Now, let me go ahead and start reporting it for you. I'm going to reorder this towards the end because from my perspective, it ends better this way and is more important to the people that she's being racist against to read it in this particular order. So, the top 10 weirdest allegations from Paula Deen's home-cooked racism and sexual harassment complaint. A former employee of one of Paula Deen's restaurants has alleged that the Baroness of Butter and her brother Bubba Hiers has been cooking up something besides candied vegetables and deep-fried ham fat in their restaurant's kitchen. Piping hot racism from scratch. Sexual harassment. Just like Mom used to make. Deen claims that the allegations are false, but even if they're not true, they'd make one hell of a screenplay. Here are the 10 most bizarre. Let's start with the sexism first. Number 10. And now I'm going to do something I've never done. I'm going to put a woman in a man's job. Lisa Jackson was hired to work as a hostess and promoted to general manager at Deen's Savannah, Georgia establishment known as Uncle Bubba's Seafood and Oyster House back in 2005. And that she claims is when the trouble started. She says she was promoted to replace a man who was fired for sleeping with waitresses, and that Bubba was miffed at that, telling Jackson, "If you think I have worked this hard to lose everything because of a piece of pussy, you better think again." Can you imagine working for this fool? And Paula Deen allows this crap to go on. She don't care about black people, and she don't even care about her own sex. Women, females. Number 9. Inescapable pornography. Bubba loves his porn. So much so that it was constantly loaded up on the restaurant's computer. Number 8. I bet your husband will like that. When one female employee reported that she was going to start wearing dentures, Bubba remarked that her husband will like it because of gum jobs. Ew. Now, Jezebel actually wrote down ew, but I have to agree. This is crazy, man. For somebody higher ranking at a job that you work at, talking about the gum job. That's sick. And it's too damn personal for other people to talk about. Moving on. Number 7. racial tension. Jackson, who is white, says that black employees were treated poorly. In one incident, Bubba violently shook a black cook who upset him. Not wanting to involve lawyers and authorities, Paula attempted to smooth things over by inviting him over to her mansion for dinner. Look at these dumbass racists caught out of time. Why would any black person in 2008, 2010, 2013, or 1970 give a damn about a white person's big house? If black people want to go to somebody's house, they probably want to go to Barack Obama's house first. You know, the White House. If not that, how about Neil deGrasse Tyson's house? How about Bill Cosby's house? Come on, let's be real, people. There are plenty of people in this world who black people would love to go to their house, like Michael Jordan's house. But why in the hell would black people be clamoring to go to some fat-ass racist woman and her brother's fat-ass racist house? We got shit of our own, and I don't even have to list it, because black people are just that amazing. But again, to make it simple, to make it plain, we don't give a damn about white people's houses. Number 6, why gay marriage should be legal. During one manager's meeting, Bubba passed around a printed out email board with the subject line, "Why gay marriage should be legal." Accompanying the subject line was a picture of 2 women having sex with each other. Now remember, this is a workplace, and they gotta deal with this fat ass racist and sexist. Number 5, they should send President Obama to the oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico so he can nigger rig it. Bubba with a helpful suggestion for how to fix the Gulf oil spill. Now, do you hear how ridiculously racist that is? First of all, to all the dumbass racists on the planet Earth, or in America, this is the President of the United States. He does not work on an oil rig, you dumbass motherfuckers. He did not cause the Gulf oil spill. That was a bunch of dumbass white people who did not know what they were doing on an oil platform and fucked up the oceans. I would call the Gulf oil spill rednecking it Bubba style, or Paula Deen style, just completely fucking it up. Number 4, kissing and spitting. Jackson says that her employment under the racist iron fist of Bubba caused her to suffer from panic attacks, and that everything finally came to a head in 2010 when Bubba allegedly grabbed her face and declared he loved her, and then later screamed at and spit at her. Man, that is some prehistoric shit there. Look, all us black people knew that Southern whites had their own mating rituals. And this is how Southern white men attract Southern white women. First, and this is important, they grab the white woman by the face, and then they declare love. And then later on in the day, they scream at the chick and then spit at her. My God, if this is not the answer to why black men are grabbing armfuls of white women and running up north, I don't have any other answer for you. Thank you, Bubba. I think if I go outside today, there will be white women standing on my porch waiting for me. Like, I heard your video about Bubba, and I just want to say that as long as you don't grab me by my face, I'm down. And they're all gonna be saying this in unison, just a pile of white women. Now, moving on to my number 3. Why is having sex with women with flat heads better? Give up? It's so you can set a beer on top of her head while she gives you a blowjob. That antique joke restored, polished, and resold by Uncle Bubba, says Jackson. Now, what she's saying, really plainly, really simply, is that this was the nexus, the crux, the axis of what Bubba thought was his hilarity. And he said it over and over and over again, every week, every month, like it was brand new. This is pathetic. But you have to know country ass white people. And sit there while they tell these dry ass jokes to understand where Jackson is coming from. Moving on to my number 2. Number 2, separate bathrooms for black and white employees. According to the suit, white employees were free to use the customer bathroom at the front of the restaurant, but black employees had to use the facilities in the back. These two racist, moronic idiots literally reinstituted Jim Crow laws in the workplace. It's hard to have words for how ridiculous that is. And this is Paula Deen and her brother Bubba. Look, if you all are working for two white racists who are assholes and racist right now, under these conditions, you need to quit immediately. Save yourself from a stroke. Save yourself from an aneurysm dealing with this type and level of stupidity. I'm going to take the time out right now to just explain to you guys. And I'm going to put this directly on white people. If you are wondering why some black people are on financial aid from the government, it is because you all have created hostile work environments for black people. So they have basically given up some of them and decided, hell, it's better to just take financial government aid than to work in a hostile work environment like this. So basically, if you are annoyed by black people being on government aid, even though more white people are on government aid than black people, then it is your damn fault. Make a better working environment, get rid of your bubbles, and get rid of your Paula Deens, and we'll be back to work as awesome as we've always been. Now it's time for my number 1. And this is from Paula Deen herself. And this is why everybody is up in arms and wants her gone. Number 1. What I would really like is a bunch of little niggers to wear long sleeve white shirts, black shorts, and black bow ties. You know, in the Shirley Temple days, they used to tap dance around. Now, that would be a true Southern wedding, wouldn't it? Damn it! That was ridiculous. What I would really like is a bunch of little niggers to wear some long sleeve white shirts, black shorts, and black bow ties, like in the Shirley Temple days. Damn. Lovely. More N-word. The Paula Deen of the lawsuit thinks the best way to cater a Southern wedding is to hire decorative black people for authenticity. Oh my God! How racist, how Southernly racist is that? And all these Southern people, man, they come up north, they're like, why do you think we're racist? What makes you say that? They're all different types of people in the South. No, you have the accent of a damn racist. You are racist as far as we're concerned. We here up north 100% agree and know that anybody coming with that Southern drawl has Klan history in their background, has Confederate history in their background. Southerners, they're proud of it. They like to come in with that drawl. She wasn't ashamed of any of it, not at all. Until her money got affected. She was instituting Jim Crow laws right in the workplace, whatever she had control over. It was a racist state. It was a sexist state. She didn't care about women. She didn't care about African Americans. Only thing she cared about was rebuilding the South. Trust me. Hell, you don't even have to trust me. Trust Paula Deen. It's what she was all about. Bad Southern cooking, fattening Southern cooking, heart attack causing Southern cooking, diabetes causing Southern cooking, and peddling that bullshit, that racist bullshit. And again, Anthony Bourdain warned us all. And I can guarantee you can catch some footage of reporters all over sitting up there acting like Anthony Bourdain was out of his mind. But I can tell you, like Michael Moore, he's sitting up there like, and now what do you have to say? What? I can't hear you. Huh? You were saying what? Oh, am I the smartest man in the universe? Yep. I mean, it was just like that Dr. Besser versus Dr. Oz. Turns out Dr. Oz was right about there being arsenic in apple juice. He was 100% right about that. And Dr. Besser, 100% wrong. Took that man to task. Said he was out of his mind. Probably based it upon, Dr. Oz's last name. Like, haha, anybody named Oz is absolutely crazy, right? Besser, right. Because his name is Besser. That fool was wrong. Still sitting up there on some old lame ass mainstream media news network acting as though he knows what he's talking about, and the same thing with that news network. But here we go, Paula Deen. White people are so ready to rally for this chick. Like, oh no, the Southern drawl, that it doesn't have anything to do with racism. No, not prejudice. Those days are over, even though they're still trying to reconstruct. So they're still trying to fly them flags, them Confederate flags. Do you notice that Stephen Colbert doesn't talk with a crazy Southern drawl? That's because he's not stupid. That's because he's not racist. His family fought for and on behalf of equality. So no, he's not going to sit up here and peddle that type of snake oil. Hell no. Now, meanwhile, on The View, I was watching them try to explain this ridiculousness. The audience was mortified by a guest show host by the name of Rachel Campos-Duffy. And she, of course, is a Republican married to a Republican in Congress. And they wonder why we think and know that the Republicans are racist. She came up runner-up twice for the show. First time she was beat out by Lisa Ling. Second time she was beat out by Elizabeth Hasselbeck. Why? Why, you may ask? Because she was more racist more crazed Republican than Elizabeth Hasselbeck, and also homophobic too. She was on one of those reality shows, just like Elizabeth Hasselbeck was on a reality show. Hers was like one of those, house reality shows where a bunch of roommates are together. Elizabeth, of course, she was on Survivor. Well, she was over the top with hers. Yeah. And what she explained on The View was that the reason the N-word is a problem is because it's the rapper's fault. See that? Here they go again. It's the rapper's fault. She called it selective outrage. These type of people, they like to omit slavery. They like to omit Jim Crow laws. They like to omit the hangings, the lynchings, and the murders. They like to forget about all that. And then fast forward real quick to 1980 and 1990 and say, aha! It was the rappers. They created the N-word. They made it evil. If they would stop saying it, then everything would be A-okay. Selective outrage. You see that? She's saying, y'all ain't mad because the rappers are saying it, but you're mad when white people are saying it. Yeah, because white people used it, invented it, and put it out there in the world as a form of oppression against one particular group of people. That's why. The outrage is not selective. What is the reality is the fact that black people figured out a way to make cash money off of the N-word. White racists are butthurt and miserable because the black man figured out how to make cash money off of the N-word. Mad, I tells you, that Dave Chappelle can pull down $50 million if he says the N-word or not. They can't stand that. And white people lose their jobs. They go quietly into the night when they say the N-word. And they can't stand that. They can't stand the fact that black people have an advantage. You see that? They can't stand that black people have an advantage when it comes to the word, the N-word. We don't get fired. We have no repercussion coming to us when we use the N-word, except for piles and piles of cash. And if they can stop us from getting those piles and piles of cash, they are happy. They want to have those piles and piles of cash. They feel that we invented it, so we should get the piles of cash. Why do black people get the piles of cash? Rappers get a pile of cash. Dave gets a pile of cash. Chris Tucker gets a pile of cash. Bernie Mac got a pile of cash. All of them got a pile of cash sitting up here using the N-word. And white people are crying all the tears in the bucket, upset because they can't do it too. No, you have to go quietly into the night. That word is evil when you use it. Yes, Michael Richards has to go quietly. He affected people's money. I still don't like Seinfeld in the show because of it. And the same thing with Don Imus. Fuck him too. Sitting up there with whatever the hell he had to say, calling black women on a basketball team who didn't even know they had it coming. Nappy-headed hoes. Go quietly into the night with your dumb ass. And the same thing with Paula Deen, and the same thing with Bubba Dummy. Go quietly into the night. You use an illegal word. It's legal for black people. It's illegal for you. Accept it. Move on. Make fried chicken in the privacy of your own home. And go broke. We don't give a damn. Black people, hold on to your advantages. Make your money. Don't be shamed. Are you kidding me? You're gonna be shamed by white people? Please. Keep sending your kids to college on that N-word. Keep buying houses on that N-word. Get your $50 million like Dave Chappelle on that N-word. Make your lives better on the N-word. But laugh white people, racist white people out of town on that N-word. Isn't that what you always wanted? To be able to chase them away? To be able to say, ha-ha! You lose everything. Just like Paula Deen with the Food Network. It's gone now. It just went up in smoke. So, this is the Calvary, wishing Paula Deen a heartfelt goodbye from the African American community. That's one of our powers. This is the Calvary. I'm out.
That's not funny.